Hello, everyone. When you stop to consider the carnage wrought by the sexual revolution, which began in the 1960s, it's nothing short of mind-boggling. Just the destruction of emotional health alone it's brought about is enough to bring a society to the brink of self-destruction. But why? Well, because our emotions are such an integral part of our human nature. And given that our nature is fallen, it is very, very susceptible to being chewed up by emotional pain. At some point, a nation, a society reaches a tipping point where the collective carnage can no longer be held back. The dam breaks, and when that happens, it's lights out. Treating the symptoms of emotional pain through fights and reporting over government policy and all of that, that's not going to solve anything. Might be a little BandAid. It's not that it's not needed. We do need to report on those things, but it will always tear away. Putting a BandAid, that BandAid over this will always tear away as the infection increases. All of this needs to be talked about, not just the symptoms, not just what's going on in DC, but how we got here, what we sacrificed, and most importantly, how we can regain it. This is the concentration of what we do here at Souls and Liberty. We talk about the philosophical and theological, the spiritual underpinnings of the nation and how best to recapture those. And we've got to recapture them. These are not easy discussions to have because a lot of presuppositions are going to be upended, and they need to be, frankly. If a culture cannot produce the right answer, and there is a right answer to the questions of who am I? What's the meaning of life? Why am I here? Where am I going? Then we have a population forever trapped in the now moment, aimlessly wandering about from addiction to distraction to short-term pleasure, one empty encounter after another. Money, sex, power, booze, drugs, relationships, not a single one of them is the answer. We know this instinctively, yet huge numbers of our fellow citizens, majorities in many cases, can't seem to escape all of that. We know the truth, not my truth, not your truth, one of the stupidest expressions ever come around. Oh, what's my truth? But the truth, because God has written it on our hearts as he told us, and it needs to be talked about a lot. No empire survives because of its policies alone. This is why we're asking you to support our work here at Souls and Liberty, because no one else out there in conservative podcast land does this like we do. And put bluntly, this is how things need to be talked about. So please just click on that donate button provided there on the page to help us advance this crucial message. If we want liberty to prevail, the work of the soul is the most important. Souls and Liberty, the interplay between the spiritual and the material worlds, because that is how our Almighty God and Father created us and desires that we engage. In the end, as we've said many times, it's all about salvation. It's the only thing that matters in the end, which is why St. Paul says, work out your salvation in fear and trembling, not your government policies. Thank you in advance for your generous support. I'm Gary Michael Vores coming to you from Houston, Texas. God love you.